Hello, everybody out there. Hope you can hear me okay. Looks like you can. And we're back for the last time on this damn model. Yeah. Where we got up to last time was trying to paint the thing and then it crashed. But that was a kind of per session sort of thing. It was like once I restarted the machine, went back in and tried it and it was okay. So it was just the machine had enough of me messing about with 3D code and doing things. So we're back and now we're just going to finish it off and fix the bits that I screwed up last time. Just because I did. Right, so by default, you look up, of course, you got the paint room. It looks like this, which is no use. We want it isometric for a start, so we can see what we're doing properly. Also need to remember to turn the voxels off. That always catches me out of that one. So you can just see your paint objects. Now we need to sort this thing here. This is supposed to be, well, basically the lid is a problem, so we've just got to do it all. Oh, hang on a second, let me just get the keyboard thing over here. There you go. So let's see, right. As you can see, the grooves in the lid are on the normal map itself, and then these additional ones are on a different layer, which you need to find out which layer it is, which of course will be the lid one. There we go. Oh, but that one also has an effect, so both those actually need to look at. That's right. So we'll turn off that because we know that's cool. We know that's cool. So we just need to get rid of any bumpiness of these two layers here. Yeah. Easy way to do that is be in depth mode, and then I'm going to erase and just erase everything. That should, get right. Oh, but see, only did it for what the direction I was looking at. You can get it to go straight through it by turning off ignore pieces, and that will do the whole thing. Should do the whole thing. Yeah, there you go. That gets rid of all that. Should be any in there. Shouldn't be any in there. Trim layer that's got its own layer. Okay. I don't know if I can smooth that up. There you go. So that's the layer with the trim around the outside. Needs to be a bit of work obviously, but that's the trim, the kind of plastic trim layer there. We've just moved that above the lid layer, and then that's it, we've got that sorted. Turn on our normal map again so we can see how we're doing. Yeah, we've got some tidying up bits to do, but essentially we've got what we needed. I think a lot of that black stuff there is just, yeah, it's coming off the ambient. We should turn it off, it's a bit distracting. Where are we at now? Oh yeah, maybe we'll paint this layer while we're at it actually. No, we'll leave the normals on right now. So turning off the lid, because we don't want to paint that. We just want to paint this bit here, the trim. Already made up a white plastic dirty. Well, I think that was actually a copy of plastic, was that? I think that was that. was one of these plastic. I just took a plastic, copied it into here, and then mess with it a little bit. No, you have to be in the right tool. Open it. Come on. No. Make sure I was make sure in the right mode for the right tool here. So it'll be that kind of colour there. Previews everything, but it's only actually going to do it onto this bit here. Actually, no, I'll do it for the photo because it's only because the trim isn't a separate item; it's just a separate layer. So, oh, as I thought, because it's still going to cover the whole thing. So, what we're going to do is, well, we could mask off this bit here. And then do it, yeah. That's what we'll do. We'll get our view there. And you mask off in this by freezing and use your normal tools that we expect. Turn symmetry on because it will help, hopefully. Down the middle. We want to go through, ignore back faces, so we'll do both sides. And zoom in a bit, you can see what I'm doing. Nope. Easily done. Remember, hold down. So I want to mask off the bits that aren't going to be touched. I'm not going to be terribly careful about this. Because for the sake of the live stream and everything, normally you'd be a lot more careful than I'm being with a lot of this stuff. But the main point is that you get the idea of what I'm doing, and then hopefully hopefully you'll understand why did you do that. Like, why did you do that? I didn't want you to do that. Probably because it's a hollow shape or something, I don't know. But that's not great, but that's okay. We can live with that. Okay, so it doesn't like going across the symmetry line. Fine. For some reason, it doesn't like that. We shall use what we got. Okay, let's do it again. It's a bit awkward when you've got to do it like that. So it won't cross the line, isn't it? There we go. So there you go. So it's masked off sort of front and back. Don't know if that's okay. So when we fill this layer now with our paint bucket, and we do it with the plastic. No. There you go. When we do that, it will fill it, but it won't do it on these white bits. That's the plan anyway. And we're just doing colour here. Close that off. See how it looked by unfreeze. So right, turn back on the lid layer. And there we go. And you've got your lids and your edge. Obviously, you're doing this properly, you go in, or what I'll do after the stream's finished, after I'm finished doing them all, is go in and tidy up all the edges and stuff like that. You know, it's just, that's all just finicky work, and you don't need to see me doing all that because that would take forever. But you get the idea. You can use your layers to isolate bits. You can use masks to mask off areas that you want to paint, and let the paint or the underlying paint show through, because after all, the lid itself is completely wood. It's just easier to just put another coat on top of that rather than trying to mask off all that, and just leave that as it is and then just put that around there. It just makes sense. And while you're at it, well, we've still got that selected. Let's get the bottom, where's the trim for the coffin? And we need to be able to see that as an object. There we go. And that's, oh, not a coffin. Trim for the coffin. Turn off the lid to reapply the paint. Make sure that looks the way we expect it to. Turn off the. It's always a good idea. Turn off layers you're not using or not going to see over here. Just turn them off, so you don't end up painting through other layers with other things that you didn't mean to, which I do all the time. Even now, I still do it all the time. And so that's there. Everything back on. See where we're at. Sometimes there's a bit of a lag when you're turning on and off the textures. You have to be patient sometimes. There we go. The trim's a bit horrible and bright, but we'll sort that. We'll just put another layer of dirt or something on top of it just to kind of bring it down a bit. Also add a gloss layer to it so it's a wee bit glossy, like we did with the handles. The trim should be a wee bit glossy, just a bit. So we'll probably do something like that there. And that's basically the what's going on in here. Right, I'll show you. Well, that's more or less fixed. We'll just save it there. What's going on here is to do with the normals, which is, if I turn off everything, it'll make it easier to show you. Why can we still see? Oh, because they're separate objects. And those, just need that, right, okay. Just turn off everything so you can see it. Come on. There we go. So on the basic normal map, and this is the normal map that we generated when we baked it in the first place, and the bits where the inside mesh sort of poked through the, the mesh on the other side and stuff, and where it kind of went out of line and got a bit wonky, that's when you get these sort of things. These are where the normals sort of get flipped around, and they don't know what way to face or what way to reflect light, and they just do weird stuff. What you're supposed to do is go back to your retopo and stuff like that and fix them, and then rebake, go through that process there of all that, and then do it again just for the coffin. No, but you wouldn't turn everything else on, or else you'd have to redo the textures for everything. You just leave just the coffin object on when you bake it, and you just bake that back into here to fix it, then repaint it, and da-da-da. Or if you haven't got time for that, or you're just on a stream and you just want to get this done, then the easy way or the lazy way to do it is just to use a brush, stick it in depth mode and smooth it out, and just sort of hide it. Nope, nobody knows. Just get to smooth it all out, and it just kind of hides how crappy it looks. See, big improvement. And that's the cheaty way of doing it. So if you delete them all together, then you'll just cause this kind of whiteness to spread to the whole thing, and then you start losing the shape of your object, and it just gets messy. Like I said, you should go back and do it the proper way, and you know, rebake your retopo and all that kind of gubbins. I'm just showing you the cheap and dirty way of doing it. You're quick and nasty, I don't know. And it's messed up my cardboard. Oh, actually, I think, yeah, actually, just take that back a bit. I wonder if I keep it facing that way, it should smooth it in that direction. So, with luck, I should keep this looking reasonable. And then make sure I'm facing this way when I do this. That's better. Oh, still a bit off, but okay. There we go. Cheap and nasty. Alright. Well, I did want a cheap coffin, so I just made it look even cheaper. And you can do the same other bits. We're not actually going to see this in the thing, but just for the sake of it, I'll fix them. Well, sort of fix them. Make them better for the moment. There, and that'll do. For the purposes of this demonstration, that'll do. So, turn up ambient back on, which got some weird. But again, the ambient occlusion can also come up with some weird shadows and stuff because of the way your retopo mesh got baked, and it's just strange like that. Excuse me. I need a drink there, sorry. Alright, where are we at? So now the best way to do it is a layer at a time, work out what the hell's going on. Just turn everything back on. And figure out what the hell layer one's supposed to be doing. It's not doing anything. So I think hello PGA TV. That's see look, she trying to put us off the stream by talking about chocolate with booze inside. I mean, what more do you need? Especially this time of year, it's freezing. I know it's freezing over there in Candleland. Yeah, we are we are getting our way through this. We're almost done. Yep. We are getting this done. We are almost done. Well, I mean, apart from the colours being a bit crap, in fact, I've got to sort that trim because that trim just looks like garbage. What the hell? Just turn off all that. There we go. The trim got and the trim with the lid. We'll do them both at the same time, but we'll have Coffin obviously. Yeah, the Coffin painting is going well. I suppose I could. I can. You know what? I'm not even going to bother. I'm not even going to bother doing that. I'm going to leave it exactly as it is, because we want to get to the important bit now. Because we've done all our. Let's just assume that we've done a great job. And we did other bits that I was too lazy to go back and fix. Okay, so we've got our thing, we've come all the way, oh, I get you back. So we come all the way from this thing, our voxel shape, retopoed the bugger with this, and I bake that, which then creates this. And I never actually went into the UV room because I don't really use it. I think most of what you could do with that you do in here anyway, when you're in edge look mode, and that gives you all the kind of same stuff that's in the UV room, really. So UV room is very specialist. I think if you really know what you're doing, then this would become more important, but I've never really used it so much. Anyway, what? And I was baked all that, and then we ended up with our paint object. And you can see how your paint object's going to look with the last room, well, second last room. The second last room is actually the tweak room. If you wanted to go in here and then start messing with things, like you thought the handles weren't big enough, like you could then come in here, select your objects, like that, yeah, you hand over there, you hold it shift, that one, and then you can select all your, well, obviously if you scale them up, we're all going to scale up away from the coffin, but you know what I mean, it's like you then go to like scale and then make them bigger or whatever. You have to use this one carefully though, because you're messing with this is a one-way sort of system here. When you tweak anything in here, when you change anything, it's very hard to get it back to the way you had it. So be very confident about your tweaks to make sure, because you're not going to get them back. There's no way to undo them really once you go back. Once it's saved, that's it. They're kind of baked in. But they can be useful though, the tweaks, for just sorting little bits and pieces, or to make it a slightly less symmetrical, or adding in little deformations and stuff like that, because it's a bit perfect looking for me, to be honest. I like things to be a bit wobbly. But it'll do for now. It'll do for purposes of what we were trying to do in the first place, which was create something in 3D, in 3D Coat, that we could then take into a game engine and stick it in, and it will look alright. And we can check that as well by going into the render room. And what that does is it chucks light at it in the same way that your typical game engine will, and show you what it looks like, and it actually doesn't look that bad. I thought it would look shit, but it's actually not that bad. Because you have to remember, when you're in these other rooms, even in the paint room, you're not working with the best of lights, because you know the more light you've got, the more fancy it is, the slower everything runs. So you only really run lots of lights at it, 1,000 rays in this case, when you just want to have a preview of how it's going to look. So you're not working on it. You've still got all your things over here, so you take the lid off. No. I thought you could... Oh, there you go. Oh, it's not until it refreshes again. There you go, you can barely even see those crappy normals that I put out. And of course there'll be a body in here, and there'll probably be like a pillow under his head and stuff like that. So again, this is not going to be a problem. That looks a bit mad with him hanging there. Right. So in here you can just check it basically, just to see how it looks, and then you can tweak it. And then obviously you'd put these. Well, in fact, I won't be lazy. I'll fix that. This is also where you can render out all your. If you want to have it, oh, you think that's a nice shot, then you can render out from here, just to render out a single frame, or you can render out an animation, which is like a 360 degree thing you can do, like a turntable, which is good. Yeah, it is, exactly, yes, I shall yes. It's not really UV wrapped in the right direction, but you won't really see it, which is true. And you can, like say, you can correct that, because you can just, well, I'll show you. Because this is the sort of thing the paint room's good at in here. And you can see these things are going across the way like that, and it looks a bit crap. So, how do we fix that? Well, we go to the coffin layer. Yeah, to turn off everything else except the coffin layer. Just Alt and that. There you go. So we're only dealing with that. Turn off everything you don't need. Always my advice in this program: turn off everything you're not working with, because 3D Coat remembers everything and it applies it to everything, and you know, it's not good. Right, so for the bits where it's all pointing in the wrong direction, this is because when we painted it, or when I bucket filled it, because that's all I did, I just bucket filled it because I was being lazy. I bucket filled it with Where's the wood I used? Oh, it was just one of the standards, wasn't it? It was wood. Right. It was, what was the cheapest, nastiest one was that? To give it a second for it to think about it. No. See what we're doing. It is that one, because as you see, absolutely no change, because it's. Oh yeah, it's that one. Right, so. And that one's going across the way. And there's that look at the inside. Because what we're going to do is just manually paint over, because when I bucket filled it, it filled the entire thing. Oh, see, it filled the entire thing in one sort of way, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, see, and again, what did it do? Cube mapping. UV mapping, there we go. So, the paint is now following, essentially, the lines of the UV lines. The lines of the UV lines, what am I talking about? The lines of the UV workflow, essentially, there we go. Trying to get this to match more like what it had. I should have saved that. See, that's what you should do. When you do get one like that and you want to reuse it, you should actually save it as a texture, and it saves a lot of hassle later on. So you can get back to the exact same, you know, UV mapped position you were at with these controls, because now they're slightly different. My chances of getting them back again are slim. Yeah, I think they're even at a different scale. No, other way. I always get that the wrong way. Oh, there you go. There we go. I think it's right a bit there somewhere. Oh, okay. I don't know. So what we'll do, because it's an easy thing, I'll just get it to a size of like bucket fill it again, and then while I'm still on the same thing, I'll go and fix it. I'll fix the texture. That's what I should do. All right. Yes, that's what I should do. I think it's quite a high definition texture in here. It's taken. That's too much. Try to find a nice balance here. Sorry, I'm being picky here. Yeah, the sides, yes, PG, yes, the sides are a mess. Yes, that's what I'm attempting to fix right now. Because they were all over the damn place. And what I'm trying to do is just make it look sensible. Now I'm just gonna repaint the because I didn't even paint it. Like I said, I just bucket filled it. I wasn't paying it. I wasn't paying it a lot of attention. I just bucket filled it because I thought, oh, sod it. And that is a bit much. Oh, there's way too much in here. Down to something a bit more sane. Yeah, 1. It'd be very subtle with the depth on this thing, right? So that'll be fine. We're on UV mapping. Always remember that, because cube mapping is this is default. It always goes to cube mapping, and that's where you get all this kind of stuff in. It's a completely different way of doing things. So don't do that. Always use UV mapping. That's why you spent so long making the UV map, so that you can actually get it to go along the edges you expect it to go along. That's the theory, anyway. Right, so we're on the right layer. Everything's fine. Yes, we want to fill that up. Give that a second. There we go. I'm going to close that. See what's happening. And actually, there you go. It's actually fixed. Oh, it was because the first time I did it, all those weird lines and stuff were all just because, you see it's all sorted itself. It was simply because I had done cube mapping, and because I was just doing it in a hurry, I just threw it on. But that's the thing, you've got to watch out for every single tool in here. Always watch out for what mode you're in, what tool you're using, what tool over here, what's it doing up here, which of these is lit, which layer you're on here, which of these objects are showing. You've got to be on top of it all. It doesn't show you that much, relatively speaking, I suppose, for each sort of section of the screen, but always be aware of everything that's going on literally around your model in every mode, because if you are, then as you can see, that's painted, that's done, There you go, one click, it's done. I don't have to fix it because it now is following the UV lines properly. And it now looks great, relatively speaking. We still need to put some gloss on the thing though. Just a wee bit on the wood layers, I think. Well, this means the lid will be slightly different. Yeah. Oh, that's good. That works quite well. So it is sort of the same scale anyway, top and bottom. So yeah, that works. That's okay. So that's, oh, whenever you hear yourself saying that works, hit save. So too often you hear that works. So yeah, make sure you hit save at that point. Right, so there you go. That looks pretty good. It's got the kind of and that one doesn't have so much because it didn't really. Actually, yeah, I should do, since I'm on it, just for completeness sake, I'll do the lid as well. With the same thing again, with the same depth on it, and again, now, if I do that though, it will put that depth onto these bits here, and again I'll have the same problem I had before, I think. Actually, I'm not 100% sure on that now because it's below that, and that exceeds it. Because I don't want the bumps on the trim, but no, that should be okay. So we'll try that. So yeah, we'll just bucket fill. Check this. Just help you're on the right thing. So as I say, always goes to cube mapping, which you can throw here. And which one was that again? I can't remember. I really should take note of what I'm doing. Yeah, was that end one, wasn't it? Oh, but it's pointing the wrong way. So I'm not going to do it then. See, that just shows you, when you make a texture and you're going to apply it to other bits, save the thing. But that's okay. The point is, there you go. Cube mapping versus UV mapping, big difference. Be aware of it, that's all, you just got to be aware of it. Save yourself a lot of time thinking, why is this not working? Right, so I think we're done here. I think we are done and done. There we go. So we are done. Nice, crappy coffin. Just what the doctor didn't order. Let's save for a second. Now, we've got to get it. Also, I'm going to put it into Muvizu, and that was the reason why I was working in the gloss and colour workflow. Because that's what I'm working in. So when I export it, and I'm just going to clear this over here in a second, just to make sure this is ready for it. Yeah, you got Coffin. I don't actually have a folder for it yet. I'm just going to create a folder for it. The OBJ files create a lot of your textures and stuff, so you want to put it into a folder always. Before you export it, make sure everything is selected that you want. Yeah, everything's cool. And I don't think it matters what they're doing when you're exporting it. It's not really. Right, so where we're going to put it, I'm going to put it up there. That's a different thing. Some nice, pleasant torture. Torture on coffins. I'm doing some great stuff here. I'm going to put coffin. I'm going to use the gloss colour specular bit. Oh, you like this next bit, PG? I'm going into Blender. Ooh. Oh no, going into Blender. I already have my preset made up for Muvizu Simple, which I changed since the last time. I think it's the gloss layer that Muvizu is using, not specular, although it says specular. But I think it's actually the gloss layer it's using. So diffuse for the colour, and then your gloss, your shinies, your normal map, your ambient occlusion, and then your emissive, which obviously, yes, I am Blender scared. The emissive layer, obviously I'm not using anything, I'm not using a glowing coffin here, but in Muvizu it can support it, so I always leave it in as a default option for it to be there. It's a good idea for whatever engine you're using. If I was doing iClone, I would include everything iClone can read, even if the model doesn't include it, doesn't matter, just put them all out there, so that if later on you want to use them for something, or somebody else wants to use them for something, at least they're sitting there. And it doesn't hurt. I mean, it's just an extra, an extra category you can add here, which is easy enough. And you can save it there and just create your own preset, which I did. I just created one just specifically for Muvizu. But it would be a different thing altogether for iClone, or to go into Maya, or whatever else you were going to use. So just hit OK, give it a second and it will do its thing. Because I need two models. I need the bottom bit and I need the lid so that I can animate them separately. Actually, because I don't know if you'll actually see a difference between having flat normals and bumpy normals on there, but we'll see. Yeah, I could put it on there as a freebie on iClone. Yeah, it'd be an interesting experiment. I was thinking I needed something to test on iClone anyway, to rig it as it were in iClone, and then see if I can make a prop in iClone. See how easy it is. It seems fairly easy because you just do the perform clip, click clip, and all that kind of stuff. You could do it, or you can actually do it in Blender, of course, which is where I'm going now. In Blender, of course, I could take the Coffin in here, create the animations of it opening or closing, or whatever it's going to do, whatever object it is. And you save that as you do that as shape keys, I believe, in Blender, and then you export that as an FBX into 3D Exchange, and then 3D Exchange you then throw it into iClone, and then iClone would have those animations. Bit of a long-winded way of getting there, but that's how you get animations like that for props into iClone, as I understand it so far. I've never actually done it, that's why the Coffin's going to be a good one to test. So, like I say, my 3D Navigator also works in here, but Blender being Blender, why doesn't it? I don't know why it's so slow. I set it a faster and then I come back and it's went back to slow again. I change it in there and it goes back to slow again. I don't understand. Anyway, import our OBJ. It's right about there somewhere in that folder. Coffin. It's always a bit big. For Muvizu, I use a scale 0.1. Yeah, 0.1 doesn't come up there because it said number pad, but it was 0.1. Check the model looks reasonable. No. I didn't mean that. Didn't mean that. Meant that. It's a number N there. Number N. Letter N, and you can check your textures come in okay and stuff like that, and you can render it out and see how it looks with your all fancy. Which, yeah, it's all fine. Well, it's as good as it's going to be anyway for Muvizu. So, what we have to do is now group it into things. So we coffin the handles and the trim are all one object, so they get joined together. Let's call that coffin body, and the rest so let's make it joined. Oh, right. Now I'm going to have to do the FBX collision thing as well. Right, sorry, I'm just talking to myself, just plotting ahead what I need so I can turn that off. Because of the way it works, and this is only for Blender people, this is only for Muvizu people, everybody else can ignore this bit, but to get the collision volume, so you've got a cube here, and I have one object, so I'm going to say take the lid first, so I would do that. And turn off the body because we're not concerned with it. We don't want it to be included at all. I think it only does selected anyway, so we should be right. Export that as an FBX. You can also move it to the centre of the, you know, the geometry and all that kind of stuff, but I'm just doing this quickly. I'm not being tidy about it. Okay. Put it to the default for Muvizu. And there's me else. So, Coffin lid. Export that. And now we can go and check over here for XB FBX viewer. And there you go. And then FBX object. That's also the collision volume for Muvizu. Obviously it's in the wrong place completely. It's a stupid place for it to be. Because I didn't move it to the geometry and what have you. But that's beside the point. I just want to show you that you do that, and then if you wanted to, I can't see the chat without that there. Look at just giving the people the information from the people who know. And PJ, she knows what she's talking about. Yep, you can do that. It's CG Exchange gives you some flexibility and stuff. There's lots of different ways you can do this. Some ways are better than others. Some are more convenient or time saving. Some are more time wasting. It depends on yourself, really. So again, do the same thing. I just take the coffin body, but now I have to again call that body, because the UCX volume has to be called the same as your single object. It can only be a single object, can't be in groups. And then export FBX presets are already the same. I'm just going to call this coffin body. And there we go. And again, we can check that, as I always do. Got the viewer, we check it. There's your collision mode down there. And yeah, for some reason this doesn't show the normals all the time. I don't know why. I think it was a bit freaky. It does strange things, this viewer. But don't worry about it. Okay, so now we've done all that, we can do we need you anymore? No, we'll just close you down there. Yes, we're all geeks. We're all geeks together here. Doing all this stuff. But it's kind of fun, isn't it? Making it all work. That's the fun bit. Because this coffin's going to be in my film for, I don't know, 5 seconds. You'll see it for maybe 5 seconds. Maybe. So, you know, that's... It's difficult to explain why you would keep going, but you do. Come on, Muvizu, hurry up. It takes a long time, it's got to check with the server in China, I think, so. Takes a while. Oh, I've got to remember not to... Can't use the graphic tablet with Muvizu, it doesn't like it. So I'll go to my standard sort of model previewing type set. And I'll first of all create a character actually, just to see what kind of scale it came in at. Muvizu uses a really weird tiny scale because its characters are really scalable, so hang on, I have to check that. There we go. Because the characters are really scalable, they use a really weird scale for the globe. It's just a sky globe. It can take a bit of trial and error to get the right sizes. Enough with the torture already. Coffin. Now these, it takes me a while for to import them because I did them at 2K textures, remember, which is the default for 3D Cope, which is great, but Muvizu can only see 1K textures, so it has to, you know, compress them down a bit before it loads it in. Oh, I think I did them both by accident. Good. But it works. Hang on, let me just check. That was supposed to be Coffin body. Alright, okay. And then Coffin lids. Just check. One of them worked. I think I left the visibility on or something in Blender and I just missed it. It's just because I'm rushing through it again, you know. Normally if you do this, do it properly, take your time. I'm just trying to get through it so we're not here for hours and hours and hours. We're just trying to get through it all. Yeah, I thought I'd said only selected, but obviously I didn't. See, and that's... Oh. That was Blender when I... Yeah, it's in Coffin body, right? That's not even visible. I think... Yeah, I think you may be right. I think when I exported it, I thought I did that in my preset that it only did selected, but I could... Oh no, it's not turned off. I had turned that off, so let me just... Yeah, it was turned off in there, so let me just update that. There you go, so it now remembers. Okay, so that was the body, wasn't it? Right, okay, so body. Yeah, now I missed that. I think it was because of the last reinstall of Blender I did. I completely got rid of it and then put it in again for the last update. And I think I lost... but yeah, I lost my former preset, so I had to make it up again, obviously. Forgot to do that bit. So it should be fine. I shouldn't need to check it with FBX again. I should be able to just load it in here, and this time it should just be the body without the lid. It still has to do the textures thing. It's worth the extra time it takes to import the texture is worth it. It only has to do it once, and it, I think I'll have to do it once. And basically you can salvage more resolution out of 1K textures by doing that. It's kind of like if you go from HD down to standard definition television, it still looks better than something that was filmed originally in standard definition. Oh, a bit of a crappy UV scene there, you see there. But again, you can have these scenes show up only in here when you load it into the game engine, and then you actually see where it's a bit weak because of the way it has to interpret the FBX and it can do weird things. But see, I mean, the normal stuff, it looks alright. It'll pass. That's the main thing, it'll pass. And then I can just animate that like any other object. I can bring in the lid, animate that, moving on and off. Although it's not a hinged lid, obviously it's one of those ones because it's a cheap one. It just has 4 screws in it, so yeah, that'd be an easy one to animate. But that's it, that is us. That is us. That is... PJ's having that issue over here. Yeah, that was a bit the selected thing for the FBX export, and then yeah, exactly, yeah. And then the UCX thing is just the collision thing, and then we'll go back to you in a second. The UCX is because if I move it doesn't help have an object to collide with. The UCX thing is to avoid that, which didn't work because it did 2 objects. This one should work. Come over here, you. Oi, come here. There we go. So that's a nice demonstration of the difference of what the UCX volume is doing. Because I tried to, because it didn't work obviously, because like I say, you can only have one UCX volume for one object in one FBX file. So that one, because it had 2 objects assigned to one, and you can see the collision volume is the entire thing. It's I can't make that go through another object. This one, because it's set up correctly with the tiny little collision volume dead center, which I'm just hitting now, means I can go through other objects up to a point. If I make it actually, there you go. If I stop it floating in there, it will sit on things, although it will sink down a little bit. You can move that UCX box to the exact floor level, see how it's sitting there, but usually I just set things to float anyway, and then just, you know, just position them where I need them, so it's not a big deal. But there you go. And again, this, as you see in Muvizu, you've only got your colour, which is your diffuse, as 3D Coat calls it. You've got your normal map, obviously, and then you've got your specular, which is your gloss layer. And that's it. Although I do notice though, the handles are, yeah, don't know what's going on with the handles. They're not glossy. The handles aren't glossy. Interesting. And they are supposed to be on there. So maybe again it's a specular. Let me just try loading in the gloss instead. I'm still experimenting to get the best out of this, actually, to figure out the best way. So we'll try the gloss thing here. See if that sorts it. No, well, hang on. It's a bit hard to see. You have to create a light sometimes just to see what you're doing. Oh, there you go, because you can see the normals now and stuff. I know the gloss is there, it's just yeah, you need enough lights to see it. Just the Unreal Engine is like, it was always the dark movie, dark face sort of thing of iClone, is the whole dark. There's always darkness, absolute darkness, unless you give it something. So there you go, you can see the shininess there on the handles, you see the shininess on there. You see the fact that the normals, because I killed all the normals on the lid, so the lid is completely flat, there is no texture to it, it looks like that kind of stuff that you stick on. If you wanted that look, the kind of stuck on plastic look, you know, you could have that kind of gives you that look. Or I just left it on with the, you know, the depth active, so the normals would come through, and as you see it's taking on the texture of the wood. I would actually soften that down a bit, that's a bit harsh, it's a bit overdone. It tends to do that with 3D Coat, it tends to overdo it with the normals a bit, but you can see it works. It gives you a coffin object, which is reasonable. It's not, we're not occupying a massive amount of memory at the moment, so it's okay, it's okay. You could go back again and you know, make it fancier, which is, I would advise obviously go back in the 3D Coat, and then you could fancy it up a bit and tidy up some of the edges and the AO and repaint these and put in little nicks and scratches, and I'll do all that kind of stuff myself probably before I use it, but for the purpose of the stream we are done. So the next the next thing I'm going to do, not now obviously because this is done, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do a stream all about hit film, and mostly Hit Film Express really, because that's obviously the free one that everybody can download. And I'm going to show, because I talked about this on the ZooChat Facebook group, about how with only a couple of little effects and just simple, really simple things that Hit Film can do, you can make your movie look a hell of a lot better with very little effort on your end. And I'm going to just do a stream of like 3 or 4 examples of what I'm talking about, of how you can take even the free version of Hit Film and make your film look better just by default, just by adding a few things. It's not going to take that much and your film will look better. I can prove it. And I'm going to show you some examples of it. So it's meant for like kind of beginner level people, for the free version, and it's just for if you've got Hit Film and you put it in, you think, well, okay, I can edit video with it, but what else am I supposed to do with it? Because you look at all those effects and things, you think, well, where do I start? Well, I'm going to show you where to start, basically. How every shot you get, whether it's from, you know, Muvizu, whether it's from iClone, whether it's real life footage, it doesn't matter. The way Hit Film handles it is all the same, in a sense, I have discovered. So the same trick works across the board. So I can show you. I'll use an iClone clip as well, just to demonstrate it. But I'll be using Muvizu clips, and you'll see what I mean. It looks, you can make things look a lot better with very, very little. But hopefully somebody's learned from this 3D Coat demonstration. I know I have. And thanks to the 3D Coat training channel, the official one, who is on one of the chats on session 3, I think it was, and who helped out a lot with some really good tips, and told me stuff I didn't know, which is good, which is what it's all about. And remember as well that this coffin here does not look good. Yeah, just shake keys. This coffin doesn't look good because of the engine. This is Unreal 3. This is not a great game engine. In Unreal, in iClone or Unreal or Unity or any of the modern engines, what 3D Coat puts out looks amazing. So this is in a very old engine, remember, and it still looks reasonably good. So that shows you the power of 3D Coat. It's a great program. So thank you all for staying with me if you did manage to watch all 5 tutorials. I know it's been a long drawn out process, but we got there, did it all real time, didn't skip any bits. It took as long as it took to stream. It really did. I didn't cheat anywhere. I did do some practice on some bits just to make sure it would work beforehand, obviously. But that's us. So thank you for watching, and good night.